Hello, I am NYK Line President Hitoshi Nagasawa. Thank you for your participation to today's explanation of the NYK Group ESG story. Why did we create an ESG story? First, I'd like to present some background and reasons, followed by further details by Yuko Tsutsui, the executive officer responsible for the ESG management. NYK Line have set forth the integration of ESG principles into the management strategies as part of medium-term management plan Staying Ahead 2022 with Digitalization and Green, formulated in 2018. However, when I was initially appointed president 2 years ago, honestly, my knowledge and interest in ESG and SDGs were not very high. After assuming my new position, the terms ESG and SDGs almost always came up in my many discussions with experts and the heads of our customers and business partners, as well as in the feedback from within the company. Thereafter, upon doing some studying, I realized that if companies such as us, who burn a large volume of fossil fuels as part of their business, do not sincerely address the issues dealt with in ESG and SDGs, they will not have a long future. However, to put it the other way around, sincerely addressing the issues, including ESG and SDGs, will allow us to identify growth strategies and strongly differentiate ourselves from competitors. Later, upon receiving feedback from people both inside and outside the company, particularly within the company, many people indicated, when I hear the word ESG, I have a vague idea of what it means, but I do not understand the true intent. The NYK Group currently has 35,000 employees on a consolidated basis, and when including the foreign seafarers who work aboard the vessels, that number increases to 53,000 people. Given the large size of our group, I felt we need some kind of tool in order to implement the ESG principles and act as a group. This tool is the current NYK Group ESG story. I had hoped to finish it sooner, but due to the impact of COVID-19, the announcement is held today. The story itself was created while receiving feedback from various people. I believe this booklet will be utilized as we move forward in the future. When I talk with everyone at the NYK Group, I strongly request that they use ESG yardsticks in addition to the current economic yardstick that has mainly been used up to now when deciding their actions. I believe the NYK Group ESG story will play a large role and become a strong base for thinking about ESG. The purpose of this story is, of course, for everyone at the NYK Group to understand the details of ESG, but more importantly, it is an opportunity to think individually about what each person can do in his or her given position or work. As a specific example, this booklet talks about the importance of safe operations. This goes without saying. Therefore, all seafarers should first understand that the safe operations they are working so hard is already achieving and making good contribution to the company's ESG standpoint. Then, moreover, I would like to expect each seafarer to think about what can be done aboard the vessel to reduce GHG emissions, which has been set as a separate issue from safe operations and proposed ideas. I firmly believe the accumulation of such ideas will lead to group-wide activities. More details will be provided later, but we will establish a robust organization and set targets for each headquarters. Then, by reviewing those targets every year, we will confirm the progress. Ultimately, Our goal is to become overwhelmingly the top logistics group in each of the areas of environmental, social, and governance. The creation of the NYK Group ESG Story is the first step towards achieving this goal. I am repeating myself, but my request for each and every employee is to create his or her own story and further expand this ESG story.
Hello, I am Executive Officer Yuko Tsutsui. I would like to explain the NYK Group ESG story using prepared slides. There is a lot to cover, but my explanation will be somewhat brief due to time constraints. As President Nagasawa stated, we want to keep contributing to society and being needed by society. And I believe the most important element for achieving this is to firmly establish ESG as a part of our thinking. While ensuring each and every employee of NYK Group uses the ESG yardsticks, allocating management resources to the areas deemed necessary for long-term perspective, and striving to create new value, we will work to create a virtuous cycle in which we contribute to solving the social issues and at the same time differentiate our existing businesses and expand into new domains. This is being a sustainable solution provider. The ESG story will be a Bible through which NYK Group employees can transform themselves independently as a sustainable solution provider. First, I will introduce the details covered in each chapter. Chapter 1, Initiatives for Creating New Value to Realize the NYK Group of Tomorrow. Under the Medium-Term Management Plan, Staying Ahead 2022 with Digitalization and Green, we have been working to incorporate ESG into the management strategies. The ESG story brings up our two existing important themes of ensuring safe ship operations and reducing greenhouse gas emissions that we have been working to achieve, as well as the two new themes of taking on ambitious initiatives in the energy fields and addressing social issues, in which we will place more effort going forward. First, concerning safe operations, safety is the social responsibility that should be given top priority as a logistic company, and safe operations are the cornerstone of business continuity at the NYK Group. Our group was the first to establish the Safety Promotion Committee in 1992. In addition, we have prepared a framework for safe operations and sincerely worked to ensure it. Through safe operations, we will protect both the seafarers' lives and the environment. The rules such as our group's independent safety manual, NAV 9000, the structures for thoroughly establishing these rules both at the group and through dialogue with the ship management companies and other business partners. And also the systems for fostering outstanding personnel at NTMA will all be essential for increasing the level of safety of people and vessels. In addition, through the integration of human and digital, such as SIMS, RDC, and manned autonomous navigation, we want to constantly maintain a higher level of safety operations that incorporate advanced support functions. Next theme is reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions is essential for our business continuity. In addition to the IMO reduction targets, we set SBT certified targets in 2018, and various methods are being used to achieve these targets. I believe that the process involves the following 6 points. First is switching fuels from heavy oil to LNG and then to zero-emission vessels. We will advance the planned fleet replacement with a long-term perspective looking toward 2050. Also, we will lead and accelerate development of improved vessel hardware through open innovation based on the R&D elements for zero emissions, which is mentioned in the NYK Super EcoShip 2050, announced in 2018. Furthermore, reducing GHG emissions need to be done in cooperation with the customer as a partner. While making proposals that respond to customers' requests, such as improving efficiency in the supply chain, we will work to reduce GHG emissions based on a strong cooperative relationship. Also, it goes without saying that promoting digitalization as set forth in the medium-term management plan Staying Ahead 2022, including the collection and analysis of navigation data, will also be a major key. Management will be deeply involved when working together with customers and business partners, as well as when monitoring and disclosing information based on TCFD recommendations. The next theme is challenging the energy domain as a new business. The energy needed for industry and daily life is also rapidly shifting away from fossil fuels. We will leverage our group's knowledge and networks and make proactive investment and grow the energy-related businesses into a future pillar of the group. The domains we will challenge for zero emissions include offshore wind power and alternative energy such as ammonia and hydrogen. In offshore wind power, we can fully leverage the knowledge possessed within the group. We have sufficient know-how for transporting the equipment for geological surveys and installation, as well as operation of installation vessels and the transportation of people who will conduct installation and subsequent operation and maintenance. Directed zero emissions, ammonia fuel is the closest to practical realization. Joint research and development have already started, and we believe services such as floating storage tanks, regasification facilities, and blended coal thermal power generation will contribute for GHG emissions reduction for customers. Concerning hydrogen fuel, a hydrogen supply chain demonstration project has been established through the activities of AHEAD. To realize hydrogen-based society, we contribute to create global energy chain. There are already more than 40 projects underway in the new business domains I have mentioned. We are working to solve various issues represented by SDGs in order to create a new value by using our expertise. For example, Marco Pay is a mobile financial service which reduces the cash-related issues and burdens, expand opportunities, and increase values for seafarers and other concerned parties. Through this financial inclusion, we will improve daily life for them. At the same time, we hope to contribute to promoting growth in the local communities. Also, to protect the ocean, important field for our business activity, we are contributing to solve global issues such as marine plastic. Marco Pay and marine plastic-related activity are initiated by our diverse, multi-talented employees. By using group's resources and potential to create new business, they created these examples. We are working to foster employee-based initiatives such as these.
President Nagasawa again. Reflecting on the first chapter, the following are the key points. Our group must absolutely ensure safe operations. In addition to the vessels, this includes guaranteeing safety in all areas, including aircraft and trucks. We have conducted various activities to secure safety over the years, and we will further promote safety going forward. Last year, one of the other Japanese shipping lines was involved in an accident, that received attention from society. Regardless of how much we reduce GHG emissions, we must not be involved in an accident that realizes a major risk to the environment. This is something that we need to focus our efforts on ensuring. Taking the opportunity presented by the ESG story, we will again focus the attention of everyone working at the NYK Group towards safety and proactively promote safety. This is the main point. Next, in order to protect the global environment, it will be essential to reduce GHG emissions. As I stated in my opening remarks, companies that fail to sincerely address this issue will disappear from the market. Conversely, those companies that do sincerely address this issue and find real solutions will be chosen as a partner by customers and clients, and it will be possible to maintain the business on firm footing. For example, we have already announced the conversion of all our car carriers to LNG fuel in the future, and currently the process is steadily moving forward. Concerning the other vessel types, we will utilize our knowledge and insights and work to reduce GHG emissions by shifting to other fuels. On the other hand, ultimately, the goal is to become carbon neutral and realize zero emissions, but significant innovations are needed in order to achieve this. We are just getting started, but we intend to actively participate in various research initiatives, as well as give our utmost effort to the development of vessels that use future fuels such as ammonia and hydrogen. Speaking honestly, it will be difficult to achieve this alone. Therefore, we will work closely with partners who will lend us their strength in each of the areas of hydrogen and ammonia. We intend to carry out development by combining our strength within a partnership. In short, our general direction for the time being is to use LNG fuel, which presently has the lowest GHG emissions, and then shift to zero-emission ammonia or hydrogen fuel in the future. In addition to this overall direction, it is also possible to significantly reduce GHG emissions through small innovations in daily operations. While holding discussions and dialogues with our customers, we will further promote innovations such as eliminating wasteful waiting time and unnecessary speeding up. This is the NYK Group ESG story we aim to achieve. In other words, through proposals from each workplace, we will make further improvements, and the accumulation of such improvements, I believe, will lead to lower GHG emissions. Also, I would like to mention our activities being conducted from the standpoint of the social issues. At Marco Pay, which is a platform that supports daily life for seafarers, a young president is currently working extremely hard in the Philippines. Also, the activities related to marine plastic was first proposed by a young employee. These activities further promote fresh ideas within the company, and encouraging such ideas and achieving actual results. I want to move the entire NYK Group in a good direction. In this way, if we have 50,000 new ideas from everyone in the group, I believe it will lead to outstanding results. Also, our goal is for each individual employee to create their own story. I will now turn the discussion back over to Executive Officer Tutsui.
Thank you. Moving on, I would like to explain Chapter 2, Bolstering of Human Resources and Organizations. In order to create new value and contribute to society as a sustainable solution provider, it will be necessary to fully utilize the strengths of 35,000 diverse NYK Group employees around the world. The key points will be fostering personnel who will promote innovation, building an organization that will utilize diversity on a global scale, and evolving the assessment and work style systems. In order to create new value, we need the ability to perceptively grasp the social issues and the ability to incorporate into management the ideas from the diverse personnel within the group. The following is our framework for fostering personnel who will strongly lead innovation and also have the work-related ability to support innovation. At NYK Group Digital Academy, we are training business leaders who have both the entrepreneurial mindsets and skills to cultivate new markets. The Academy has already graduated 2 classes, and the graduates are incorporating proposals into specific activities, as well as forming new businesses and improving the work operations. From the perspective of promoting diversity, we have been training in-house navigation officers and engineers since 2006, and currently 1 out of 6 licensed Japanese seafarers working in the group were trained internally. These seafarers with a new perspective have been assigned to work aboard, and in 2020, the first internally trained seafarer was promoted to the captain. NTMA, which fosters personnel with work-related ability to support innovation, has trained seafarers with NYK quality since its founding in 2007. And more than 1,100 graduates boost 100% passing rate on the Philippine National License exam. Currently, some of the graduates are working as an officer aboard LNG carriers and tankers. At NYK Business College and NYK Maritime College, training programs with a full lineup of contents are providing support for enhancing overall capabilities of the group employees. Group employees from various countries who have taken part in these training programs are currently working within the group. In order to make diversity into a strength for being a sustainable solution provider, along with empowering women in the workplace, we will organizationally and proactively utilize group personnel, such as assessing national staff from multiple countries for executive positions at the head office. To bring up the NYK Line head office as an example, we have introduced an objective tree that clearly links the organizational and individual targets. And we are also working to review the human resources programs to better connect the contributions for innovation to the assessment. At the same time, we are actively introducing new programs that incorporate work management utilizing IT to diversify the work styles, such as the establishment of remote work during the COVID-19 pandemic.
President Nagasawa again. I'd like to add a few remarks. Reflecting on Chapter 2, I would like to emphasize that it is the human resources who support the NYK Group. Over the years, we have taken on numerous challenges. For example, training navigation officers and engineers in-house. By hiring graduates from regular universities, we wanted to diversify ourselves instead of just hiring from the traditional maritime academies. Also, due in part to economic considerations, a maritime academy was established in the Philippines, and students have been trained with the goal of firmly conveying NYK's philosophy regarding safety. These were both major challenges. As stated in the materials provided, our group employees are already very diverse. To give you the figures again, 22% are Japanese, 21% from Europe, 37% from South Asia, 6% from North America, 10% from East Asia, and 3% from Central and South America. When the seafarers are included, the number of Filipino employees increases. The NYK Group already has excellent diversity. The key point of Chapter 2 is to further motivate and provide opportunities for additional growth to the people working within our diverse group. Initially, I want to create an even more diverse organization by reforming the human resources programs at the NYK line head office and further promoting the utilization of female employees. Actually, I tend to find myself on the receiving end of pointed criticism that little advances have been made from the viewpoint of the outside directors. Also, I want the overseas offices and affiliated companies in Japan to take a hard look again at the current situation and then make the necessary reforms to the human resources programs and revise the training and utilization of personnel group-wide. This is one of the main goals of the ESG story. We are not focusing solely on environmental problems and simply stating that we will reduce GHG emissions. We want to improve our work environment and provide opportunities for growth to each and every employee. This vision has been firmly incorporated into the ESG story. Starting with the NYK line head office, the activities will be cascaded down to the affiliate companies and overseas group companies, and through this, I believe it will be possible to further motivate all 53,000 people working at the NYK Group and improve employee satisfaction based on work-life integration.
Executive Officer Tsutsui again. Lastly, I will explain Chapter 3, Strengthening of the Management Base to Support ESG Management. In order to promote ESG management, while confirming the direction we should take through communication with outside shareholders, at the same time, it is necessary to have a solid management base for supervising the operations within the group. First, an ESG management committee led by the president will be established. It will confirm the progress of the ESG story and consider setting company-wide policies and targets. The ESG Management Committee needs to include an outside perspective for higher effectiveness. So Mr. Daigo Shimizu of Goldman Sachs Japan Company Limited has been asked to serve as an advisor and provide his advice and opinions based on his deep knowledge of capital markets and investor behavior, as well as his far-reaching involvement in ESG and SDGs awareness activities. Also, in order to promote ESG management, along with securing diversity in the board of directors, the ESG principles will be reflected in the considerations conducted by the appointment and compensation advisory boards. Along with communicating the philosophy based on the committee activities and top-down policies such as an announcement of ESG story, we will share a company-wide understanding from the bottom up and implement approaches from both sides so that all NYK Group employees around the world can use the ESG yardsticks when carrying out their work. As the foundation for this, global group governance will be further promoted and the ESG management will be established throughout the group. As I stated during my explanation of Chapter 2, the NYK Group is made up of people from diverse countries, and even in the code of conduct and conduct standards at the group companies, respect for human rights and respect for national regional culture are clearly stated, and awareness activities have been conducted within the group. Going forward, as part of our supply chain management, because it will be increasingly important to share with clients our understanding in relation to the guidelines, such as those on human rights, we will implement initiatives that address human rights, including from the perspective of reinforcing the business foundation. The NYK Group ESG story I have just discussed is a growth strategy that will be updated every year. It will also be expanded to the group companies in Japan and overseas going forward, and we are considering the establishment of quantitative targets in order to achieve the strategy.
President Nagasawa again. The key point from Chapter 3 is simply stated that it is not enough just to talk about an ESG story. It is also necessary to secure its implementation. This is the role of the ESG Management Committee. The executive officers from each headquarters will be part of the committee, and in addition, Mr. Daigo Shimizu of Goldman Sachs Japan Company Limited will join as an outside advisor. Mr. Shimizu is in some ways the person who opened my eyes to the ESG principles. Also, because he will be participating from the standpoint of finance and capital markets, he will use his outside perspective to thoroughly check whether or not we are moving in the right direction. The existing ESG Management Promotion Group will serve as the secretariat for the ESG Management Committee. The main role of the group is to establish the concepts I have talked about at the group companies in Japan and overseas, including the foreign offices. As stated earlier, I have the feeling that some of the 53,000 employees of the NYK Group have heard of ESG but are not sure what it means. That is why we are saying, discuss ESG at your workplace or office, and through those discussions, create your own story. When this is done in each department or headquarters and then transformed into targets, I believe the accumulation of these actions will become activities using the ESG elements that we are aiming to achieve. Also, in order to increase implementation, the Compensation Advisory Committee is revising the compensation structure for executive officers at the NYK Line head office in Japan. At the next change point, we are looking at incorporating ESG elements into the compensation structure for executive officer level personnel and up. In addition, I would like to touch on the issues of human rights and poverty. I intend to have each headquarters also consider these issues, and it is my hope that the ESG story will be a good opportunity to think about issues such as these. Lastly, although it is slightly off topic from the main elements of ESG, I would like to say a few words from the perspective of contributing to society. We have set forth a different definition of ROE. It is return on earth, and it refers to giving back to the ocean, earth, and people. Up to now, we have used a certain amount of money as the contributions to society, but I want to review this one more time and carry out our actions in a more robust way. To this end, we have created an annual budget of 1 billion yen to be used under the name of the NYK Group Sustainability Initiative. The initiative will run for 5 years from fiscal year 2021, and it has already been approved by the Board of Directors. In addition to the approximately 0.5 billion yen that includes parts of the Hikawamaru and NYK Maritime Museum and the Maritime Academy, NTMA, and the approximately 0.15 billion yen for volunteer work and donations following natural disasters every year, another 0.3 billion yen has been created. We intend to use this initiative for solving social issues such as regenerating the oceans, recovering marine plastic, and tending unmanaged forests. These activities will be thoroughly considered by the previously mentioned ESG Management Committee, and the initiative will be used for the benefit of society. It is my sincere hope that within these activities, the ideas from young employees will be actively reflected, and the initiative will be used effectively and in a way that contributes to society. In conclusion, I'm repeating myself, but by continuing to carry out these activities, we want to become a corporate group that is needed by society. Last year, the NYK Group celebrated its 135th anniversary. The reason the group has continued to exist for all these years is because we have continued to firmly respond to the needs and demands from society in each era. Today, ESG and SDGs are the needs and demands from society, and thoroughly responding to these needs and demands is the path the NYK Group must take. In addition, we will carry out this activity based on the belief that doing so will lead to us becoming the corporate group chosen by customers, as well as becoming a sustainable business that will continue to exist over the long term. This ends our presentation. Thank you for your time.